Hello friends, in this video we'll learn about something very interesting, that is gamification. What is gamification? And more importantly, what gamification is not. Because most of the times whatever we think about gamification, that is not gamification. Gamification has nothing to do with animation, making videos or playing games. Then what is gamification? So our topic for this video shall be why gamification is so important, what exactly is gamification, what's the power of gamification, the science behind gamification, how it impacts our brain and how it makes us addicted to something, how to gamify. This is the technical thing, how to gamify. And let me tell you now, gamification is only 25% technology, 75% it is psychology that we learn in this video. And in the last, where to use gamification, where all we can use gamification. So, are you with me? Great, let's start. As you know, I am Vikas Vats. You can know more about me at vikasvats.com. My company is Value Added Training Systems and Consulting, VATS.in. So, first topic, why gamification? Very simple, we do gamification to increase any behavior. Any human behavior, if you want to increase, we want somebody to do something again and again, we use gamification. Of course, sometimes also to decrease some behaviors, but most of the times to increase some behavior, we use gamification. And how we do it? By heightened engagement. We increase the engagement level of the individual and that person does some behavior again and again. That's why we do gamification. What is gamification now? What exactly is gamification? So let's go to the first sentence. Gamification is the application of game mechanics. So gamification is the application of game mechanics in non-game contexts, mostly to drive engagement. So the two important terminologies are game mechanics or game components. We use game components in non-game contexts. So that's what gamification is. So now the important thing is we gamify something that is not a game. We take game components, we take game mechanics and apply those in non-game situations to make them more engaging. That's what gamification is. So what are game components now? What are game mechanics? That's what we need to know. So game components, game mechanics, they are like in a game, you will find there are points, there are scoring, there is competition with others, there are rules, regulations, there are challenges you have to accept, there is a leaderboard and you will not lose. So you get different badges, there are different levels. So these are the components of a game. So when you take these components and use them in a non-game situation to make it interesting for somebody, that is gamification, right? So now you need to know what are game components or game mechanics. So you can see in this picture, these are most common game mechanics or components which you can take and apply in non-game situation to gamify something. So as I told you earlier, gamification is only 25% technology and 75% it is psychology. So I'm sure now all of us are aware what is gamification. It has nothing to do with videos, animations or playing a game. Are you with me? Good. Next, science behind gamification. Why gamification is so powerful? Because technically, whatever human being, whatever we like, enjoy in our lives, that is through two neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine. There are two neurotransmitters or chemicals in the brain which always give us feeling of positivity. They can be related to whatever you can see in this picture. So serotonin is related to mood, memory, sleep, cognition. Dopamine, this is related to reward. So when you get some reward, your dopamine level increases and that is the pleasure feeling. To keep your dopamine level at higher level, you want to do that behavior again and again which gives you the reward and it makes you compulsive to that behavior. You tend to do that behavior again and again and you do not know why you are doing it. So for example, just to see the power of gamification, Pokemon, that's a game. Facebook is a game. So technically Facebook is a game. LinkedIn is a game. We play these games for more likes, sharings, comments, maybe to find a job. So these are all games. And as you know the power, every few minutes, our hand will automatically go to the mobile to check if somebody has liked my post. So that's the power of gamification. That's the reward I get when somebody likes my post or my post goes viral. The reward part of my brain triggers and I get a high dose of dopamine, and that keeps me addicted to gamification. Even the game, if you know the game Blue Whale, suicide game, Blue Whale, that is also a game developed by two scientists, and at the 50th level, people even commit suicide. So that's the power of gamification. Even in casinos, we use the same principle. How to keep people motivated to play more and more and make them lose everything. It's the same principle. Even the drugs like cocaine, they give you the same kick. They also increase your dopamine level, and that's why people become addicted. They want to do it again and again. That's the power of gamification. We can trigger the same neurotransmitter through gamification. Now, the important thing and interesting thing, how to gamify something. There are two important components in gamification. Of course, we gamify something with 5 different challenges or badges by giving some rewards. The rewarding form of anything. Now, there are two important aspects on the basis of which we can give rewards. First is time. We can reward on the basis of time. So, for example, I reward every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, every day, every month, every week, like a salary. So that's fixed time reward. I am rewarding every fixed time. There can be a variable time reward, variable time strategy, where I am giving reward, maybe first reward after 5 minutes, then after 10 minutes, then 60 minutes, then 35 minutes, then 108 minutes, then 1000 minutes, then 3 minutes. So there is no logic, just variable time reward. So time-based strategies of giving the reward can be either every fixed time or variable time. Second aspect on the basis of which I can gamify or give reward is actions based on some action or behavior. This is the action, this is the behavior which I want to increase. This can be doing more of the sales, this can be more production, more efficiency, better quality, less rework, punctuality, this can be anything. Maybe I want my kids to watch less of TV, I want to motivate somebody to read more, study more, anything. So here I am giving reward based on particular actions or behaviors. This can also be of two types, fixed and variable. So fixed reward, fixed action is where I am rewarding every time the desired behavior is shown. So I ask somebody, you do this thing, every time you will get this particular reward. That is fixed action reward. Second can be variable action reward, where I am giving reward based on action, but not every time. Maybe initially first action, then third action, then 10th action, then 30th action, then 15th action, then 12th action, then 17th action. No particular logic. So based on these two parameters, time and action, and fixed and variable, there can be 4 different kinds of reward strategies. There are 4 different reward strategies. So there are number of actions which I want to increase, and how much time does it take to increase. Here you can see. Right. So let's study and analyze them comparatively. Let's try to find out which one is the best to gamify. So ideally I tell you, gamification is a technical topic and it requires a lot of practice to master it, but we'll be able to do few good things with this graph. So first one, as I told, is let's start with the time, fixed time. So the red one. This is the curve. So if I give fixed time reward like salary, so after this much time, I am able to increase a behavior up to this extent. I give salary every month or every week. Now, if I make it instead of fixed time, variable time, any month or any particular week, I give salary. Sometimes I don't give, sometimes I give. The learning will be slower. The same time, I have learned only this. I have performed that behavior only up to this extent and not this. So compared to variable, fixed time is better. That's why salaries are provided on a fixed interval. Now, instead of time, if I move to action or incentives and rewards, how does that figure out compared to the time-based rewards? So this curve is fixed action. This fixed action. every time desired behavior is performed, somebody gets a reward. Here the learning is very fast. People learn to perform that action the fastest way when you reward each and every time desired behavior is performed. So for a salesperson, I tell every time you make a sale, you get your 2%. That's the fastest way of doing it. The second way is variable action. I reward the desired behavior, maybe not every time, maybe every second, then the second behavior I rewarded, then the 10th, then the 20th, then the 30th, then the 15th, then the again second. There is no fixed way of doing it. So now the other person knows, the performer, when the behavior will be rewarded. So now, of course, we will ask, if this is a better, why do we use this? Why would anybody use this? Because apart from learning the behavior to perform, there is another interesting thing, that is maintenance. If you are rewarding every behavior, of course you are spending a lot of money. And in this schedule, in this fixed time schedule, the extinction, in this fixed action schedule, the extinction is also very fast. If you stop giving the reward, the people will stop performing the behavior. But here the extinction curve is slow because nobody knows when the reward is coming. And slowly you can keep increasing the time, the number of behaviors after which you give the reward. So sometimes you like to start with this, you like to start with fixed action schedule to make people learn to perform some behavior very fast, then move to this slowly. You are spending less and people are, without so much of reward, people in the expectation of the reward, people are performing the behavior. So for example, if you have installed some apps which give you reward, it can be Google Pay in India, or it can be some app related to where you book hotels or buy something and they give you cash back. So you find initially they give you reward on each and every behavior, then slowly they start giving reward after some behaviors, then more, and once you have learned using that app, they will almost stop giving you the reward. So that's how you gamify something. Another important thing about gamification, the reward must be immediate. For the people, their brain to associate that if I do this behavior, I get this reward and my dopamine level goes up. Do the behavior, dopamine up. The reward should be immediate. That is very important, and it should be in the proportion of the behaviors performed. That is important. Second important stuff is, it should be a reward from the receiver's perspective. So if I want to reward somebody, it should be a reward from that person's perspective as well, not only from mine. So if I reward my kids for doing some good work and I reward them with a dictionary, of course that won't be a reward for them. Maybe my younger one will be happier with a pizza. So it should be reward from other people's perspective. Maybe in your organization you can run a survey to find out how different people like to be rewarded. There are some people who will be happy with the money, another people who will be happy with recognition, few people happy with a certificate, few people will be happy when you give them a chance to learn more, perform better, more challenges. So if you know how different people respect the reward, you can individualize the reward. That is very important to gamify something. Where all you can use the gamification, you can use in LMS. World over, LMS adoption rate is very low. So if you use in LMS, learning management systems, it will be very easy to increase the adoption rate. You can use with the employees to do anything, to make them perform better, do more, to make them stretch, less rework, better quality, with employees' family for engagement, with unions to drive particular behaviors, with your clients to make them buy more, to increase the ticket size, with contractual labor because you are not directly dealing with them. So variable time or variable behavior reward will help you. Gig economy people, if they are working for you, it's difficult to engage them, but through gamification you can engage them. Direct your dealers and sales executives which are not directly working with you. So you can use reward strategies or gamification with them also. Another ways of using it is when you want people to do more of some behavior, or when you want people to do less of some behavior, or you want people to think more in a particular way, or when you want people to think less in a particular way. That's where you can gamify the system. There are some examples. You can maybe stop here and go through them one by one. So more example, when you want to impact the buying behavior, upselling, cross-selling, you want maximum budget, maximum ROI of your marketing budget, you want to increase the brand record. So technically, through gamification, you can impact each and every human behavior. This is, as you know, Vikas Vats from Value-Added Training Systems and Consulting, and we'll keep uploading more and more videos for you to give you more and more knowledge about required and interesting topics. And don't forget to subscribe the channel so that you are in touch. Thank you very much. Good day.